First of all, I wanted to say that when I yell at you and pull your tapes out of the dashboard, I don't really mean it, okay? I think you know that, but just in case.
Yes, you do.
Oh, do I?
And it's perfectly all right. In other words, it's perfectly all right with us if we aggravate you into a strong sense of who you are and what you are wanting.
I have really small desires, but they're important to me. And I was taught that earthly things are not worthy goals or something along that line.
Strange that God would offer so many if that were true.
I know, it doesn't make a whole
lot
of
sense.
Sort
of screwy. Yeah. Sort of like setting you up for trouble.
Yeah, kind of like that, isn't it? How come that is so important to the evolution of the universe for me to decide I really want something and feel good about it? Because that's what you've said.
It isn't important to the evolution of the universe because the universe will evolve whether you get in sync with that or not. Okay. Because the basis of this universe is one of contrast, which causes preference to be born within you. In other words, you cannot cease to prefer. And in the moment that you prefer, this ever-loving, ever-flowing source energy comes forth in response to your preference.
And that's the payoff? The energy coming forth is what this is about? I mean, I had to have a reason to come down here and go through all this stuff and sift through all this contrast so I could find what I'm finding now. So that I must have thought it was important.
From your non-physical perspective, you not only thought but continue to know that the contrast is important because it gives you something to focus upon. And as eternal beings, without something to focus upon, we would cease to exist. In other words, we're almost talking about this in a backwards fashion because you have to understand that we never cease to be and that we never cease to expand. That's not in question. The only thing in question is, in this moment of expansion, is this consciousness having a joyful moment or not? Because you are having an expansive moment. That never stops. But are you having a joyful moment? That's the only thing in question. And that is the goal. In other words, that's what it's all about. So you are at home and you are alone and you're feeling pretty good and there's nothing interesting on television, but you have a good book that you've been interested. So you just nestle into a comfortable chair and bring something comfortable to wear and cover your feet up with a comfortable blanket and bring something nice to sip, and you dig into the book. For what purpose? For the purpose of the pleasure that you think it might give you. Or you're with friends and you decide to go out and have an enjoyable evening together and you're wanting to go to a movie and you pick something that you think you will like. For what purpose? For the purpose of having a joyful moment. Everything about all life that exists is about mining the details for a joyful moment. In other words, all existence is about that. Even the cells in your body are finding preference. Even the one-celled amoeba in the ocean finds preference. Everything exists for the purpose of finding preference. And so when you get oriented towards seeking joy, so that you are deliberately looking for things in the arena where you are focusing, for things that feel good to you, then you are opening to the clarity and the fullness of who you really are. We have never met a human being in your physical time-space reality who was less than joyful when they were fully connected to who they are, because Source is joyful. So now your question says, so I was joyful non-physical energy and less than joyful human being, working my way back to joyful human being, and tell me again, why am I doing all of that? I was joyful, then not joyful, working my way to joyful. Now, what's in it for me? In other words, why did I come forth? Why am I making all of this effort? And we say, for joy. And you say, but I was joyful when I made the decision to come forth. And we say, and yes, hear that. From that joyful perspective, you knew that the most joyful thing that you could possibly do was to peruse some more detailed contrast where more desire could be born, because the discovery of new desires is the most joy-based experience that any of us could ever live. And that's what makes you want to read a book. You don't just sit in the room and say, I'm content, I will look at the wall. You're looking for something to think about. You want to focus, or you want to go to a movie, or you call somebody. You want something to focus upon. It's why we say, when you are working in an environment that is sometimes boring, instead say, there is potential for something really stimulating here. Let me look wherever I am for something that stimulates me. Humans sometimes get in this place where they say, well, I'm not happy here, I would like to go over there. And we say the problem with not being happy here and deciding to go over there is that you can't find happy over there because you haven't learned to find happy over here. You have to develop a propensity for finding happy wherever you are to find it anywhere. And there is this illusion that humans often have that, well, it's not over here, maybe it's over there. And we say it is for sure over there, just like it is for sure over here. But if you haven't learned to look for it, you would not see it. You see. So when you say for what, we say for expansion, yes, but expansion is inevitable. You didn't come into this human form and focus into this time-space reality because you were looking for growth. You knew growth was inevitable. You thought it would be fun. You thought it would be stimulating. You thought it would be a wonderful way to focus. You knew that all that is would benefit by it. But the thing we so much want you to hear is that the benefit that all that is receives from any moment in time is joy. Everything exists for joy. There is not one other reason for life than joy, you see. We've got nothing to prove to anyone because nobody other than all that is watching. In other words, we're not trying to get brownie points from some other galaxy. We're not trying to get someplace else because there is no ending. We're not trying to get it done because there is no ending. We cannot get it done. Everything exists for the purpose of joy in the moment. And you can feel that. We know you feel it often when you are having that joyful moment, that satisfying moment, that moment when you are in your focused awareness so lined up that all that is flowing through you in that moment. And you say, this is what it's about. Sometimes you're alone, sometimes you are with somebody else, sometimes you are on a beach, sometimes you're sitting on a rock in Alaska, sometimes you're in your apartment, sometimes you're with your lover, sometimes you're gazing into the eyes of an animal, sometimes you're gazing into the eyes of someone else, sometimes you're remembering something, sometimes you're observing something, sometimes you're imagining something, but all that is present in a moment of joy is source energy, fully flowing through you with no restriction. So let's wrap this up again. So Abraham, you said, I come from being all joy into an environment where it could go either way so that I can come back to pure joy. And we say, if it's not for contrast, you don't really recognize joy. And joy can't expand. Joy does expand. In other words, you can get clearer and clearer about the joy that you want. Nothing is more delicious than to be in an environment where new thought is born within you. New thought accompanied by all that is flowing forth with you into the new thought. So, it is about expansion then. Yes, expansion is inevitable. It is about joyous expansion, you see. If you want something that you're allowing, you're in sync with all that is. If you want something that you're not allowing, you're not in sync with all that is. If you know that you can allow it, you're getting in sync with all that is. So, tell me again, why did I come forth? I was pure positive energy. I came into a contrasting experience. I got roughed up pretty good. I sure learned what I don't want. Out of it was born clarity about what I do want. And then I slowly returned to my awareness of well-being. And I keep doing this again and again because, and we say, because new conclusions about what is desired keep happening. The expansion of the universe depends upon all of that. So I did come forth for growth. No. Growth is inevitable. You came forth for the possibility of joy within the expanding experience. If you get your eye off of joy and get it focused on growth, you'll get disconnected from source and your time will be less than it could be. Not wasted, but less than it could be.
So if you go into the virtual reality for 30 seconds and you feel good, that's the payoff. For 30 seconds?
Feeling good is always
That's
the payoff.
the payoff.
We don't know of anything that you have ever wanted that was for any other reason than you thought you would feel good when it got there. Mm-hmm. Not one thing. Whether it is a monetary experience, an environmental experience, the relationship experience. We can't think of anything that anybody has ever wanted that was other than they thought they would feel better when they got there. And so when you teach yourself that you can feel good under all conditions, then there is no good place wanted by you that is off limits to you ever again.
Okay, good.
So then you say, well then, I don't really need life experience. I don't need a life because I've got my virtual reality. In other words, if I can dream myself into happiness, then do I need to be in this physical body? We say, being in this physical body was what gave you the framework to help you focus even this virtual reality. You could never even conjure the virtual reality if you did not have some framework in which to conjure it. That's sort of where we began here today, isn't it?
You say if you ignore a problem, it goes away.
Because in your not attention to it, it's a non-vibrational issue. In other words, if you are not focused upon it and activating the vibration, then it cannot be a player in your point of attraction.
But you also have said, and this is the contradiction I'm trying to clarify, if you ignore something, don't worry, it'll get bigger. It'll come back, it'll get bigger.
What we are saying to you is, if you have a vibration going on inside of you, and it is indicated to you by negative emotion, and you don't acknowledge the negative emotion and make another decision, so you continue the vibration as you have been continuing it, then law of attraction says that whatever that vibration is going to attract more to it. In other words, that which is likened to itself is always drawn. So it's a little play on words that we are doing here. We're saying if you ignore your negative emotion, which is your indicator of the vibration that you're offering, and therefore you continue to perpetuate the vibration that you're offering, then the thing that was causing the negative emotion to begin with is going to magnify. By law, it must.
I see. If you ignore the negative emotion, then it's magnified. If you ignore a situation or something and pivot and get a better feeling.
Well, what I think and what I feel are always a vibrational match. And our message really is, we want you to be aware of the sensitivity in your fingertips so that when you touch the hot stove, you are aware of it. And we want you to be aware of the sensitivity in your emotions so that when you touch up against a vibration that isn't serving you, you have awareness so that you can reach for a thought that feels better. We make all of this complicated as we talk about thoughts and beliefs and desires, as we talk about all of the potential vibrations. And what we really want to say to you is, when you're feeling good, you're allowing the well-being that you want. When you're feeling less than good, to the degree that you're not feeling good, you are not allowing the well-being. And the premise is almost opposite of what most people believe. Most people do not accept that the basis of their life and of this universe is one of well-being. Instead, many of them accept that it could go either way and they've got to get to the good by defeating the bad. Many of them believe that the bad is more rampant and that if they aren't protecting themselves from the bad, then the bad will assert itself into their experience. And what we're wanting you to understand is that the basis of your world and the basis of your specific life is one of absolute well-being. And unless you're doing that thing you do that's not letting it in, it'll get in, you see.
Great. Thanks a
Yes,
lot.
indeed. Very good. There is not something that you're supposed to do. You can feel the power of that which you have the ability to do. And you're wanting to find some way of channeling it. And the primary thing that we've been wanting all of you here today to hear today is that there are not more virtuous things than others. In other words, everything that you're setting your attention to is worthy of source energy flowing to it. You've just got to decide what it is. Life is really supposed to be good, and you are adored by source energy. You cannot get it wrong, and even though there are plenty of things that you think you have done wrong, there is nothing that source energy acknowledges as having been wrongdoing by you. You are pure positive energy here in a physical body, out here on the leading edge of thought, doing a very good job. And source energy is extremely pleased to interact with you in all ways. There is great love here for you. We are complete.